Hi everyone, my name is Dante Anderson. I'm running for Charlotte City Council for District 1. I'm a Charlotte native and I'm running on a platform of opportunity. The opportunity to afford a livable wage, the opportunity to have access to housing that's more affordable, and the opportunity to live and thrive in safe communities. I myself grew up here in Charlotte, right across from District 1 in Southside Homes in public housing, and I was able to pivot my outcome by focusing on opportunity and education. And so now I live in a district, but under a very different circumstance. And I'm running because I want to be an advocate for those Charlotteans who want to move up the economic realm and create a better life for themselves. I truly believe I have the skill set to help move the council and the city forward. Thank you. So my vision for Charlotte is that within 10 years we're going to be a top 10 city. One of the one of the largest cities within the country. It's coming, we see it, and we have to be prepared to receive that. And I really and truly believe District 1, which I think is the best district in the city. I love the whole city, but District 1 really and truly is the best district. It will be a city within itself. If you think about the boundaries of the district running all the way up to Hidden Valley, Derrida, and Hampshire Hills, all the way down to Madison Park, it's a very sizable district and it will effectively be a city within itself. And so we have to think about the growth and how the growth will impact District 1 in the already dense neighborhoods that exist, and then in the historical neighborhoods that will only receive additional growth as well. So, in my opinion, I feel like the diversity of District 1 is a benefit and not a detriment to the city. Some say that District 1 is too big and too diverse. I disagree. I think it reflects Charlotte. I really and truly feel like District 1 is Charlotte when you think about the neighborhoods that build up District 1. As I mentioned, I'm a Charlotte native, and growing up here, I spent time in Hampshire Hills, I spent time in Hidden Valley, but I also went to school in Sedgefield, and I also spent a lot of time in Dilworth. And so the diversity of the city is great. Now, when you look at some of the disparities in the neighborhoods, the issues are a little different. I always use the case of a Hidden Valley where the median income is less than $40,000. But over in Dilworth and in Sedgefield, the median income is north of $120,000, right? One recurring theme that permeates through all of these communities is access to housing that's more affordable. So that's one place where there are similarities, right? Other places where there are differences in neighborhoods like Hidden Valley, their crime index, their property crime index is much higher than, let's say, Plaza Shamrock, where they're not necessarily concerned about crime. And so, if as a District 1 rep, I would engage all of the neighborhoods as I'm doing as a candidate. I've been to many, many, many neighborhood association meetings. I've spoken to small business owners and community leaders in many of the neighborhoods, and some of them were upset because they're part of District 1 and they wanted to share that with me directly. I received that. I understand that. I think it's so important, though, in this election because of the diversity of the district, because of all of the development and growth going on, you really and truly need someone who's going to represent you on council that understands the diversity and can really help to solve problems and bring skill sets that can solve those problems. I feel like I can do that. I'm a Charlotte native. I was raised in the district. I lived in low income neighborhoods in the district. I also live in different neighborhoods now that are much higher on the equity spectrum. So I have that lived experience. I'm proximate to it, and I bring over 25 years of corporate America experience creating job creation and economic development, helping others to have access to affordable housing, and working on issues that relate to District 1. So I truly feel like I am the most qualified candidate to represent such a diverse district. So this is a really great question because it's a real life question that I'm sure has already occurred previously for the existing council member and will occur for the future council member. If I am interfacing with a developer around some potential growth and development in the community, one of the first things I'm going to say to that developer is that we need to ensure that everyone in the community has an opportunity to have a seat at the table and a voice in the process. And what that would look like for me if I were a council member is I would call a town hall meeting within my district, within that neighborhood that will be impacted, and invite constituents to come and talk to the developer. I would invite the developer there. I would invite the neighborhood association presidents, any community leaders, and make sure they have an opportunity not only once but twice to ensure that they have a voice in the process. And ultimately, if there is a project that is going up and the entire community has said no, they don't want it, then I can't see how I could necessarily support it because I'm representing the community. So I'm an extension of the community. If the community is saying we don't want this and it's unequivocally true that they don't want it, I have to stand and be a voice for the community. And I think there'll be opportunities where that will really and truly happen. So that's how I would approach it. So this is a hot button issue for so many, not only in District 1, but throughout the city of Charlotte as well. And a lot of people actually don't like the term affordable housing because it begs the question, affordable for who, right? But the reality is we have residents who make a living all up and down the AMI. So we do have to focus on 30% AMI, but we also have to focus on workforce housing. So, people who work 40, 50 hours a week and can afford to live in the city that they work in, we have to make sure that those people that are at the 50 and 60% AMI have an opportunity to live and thrive here in Charlotte as well. So it is a multi-pronged approach, I think, when you think about affordable housing, because so many need access to housing that is within, that 30% of their income. And these days, if you're going to rent, and we have so many buildings going up in District 1 as well, you have to make three times that amount in order to even qualify, right, for a lot of the units. So it's critical. One of the ways I would be an advocate for affordable housing if I were the district rep is, any development that goes on in the city where developers get tax incentives, I'm going to push to have even more affordable housing units reserved for workforce housing, because that is so important. And if a developer is going to get a benefit from the city, we have to do that. As we expand our transportation lines and we have construction where we're standing up expanded rapid transit and our light rails, we have to make sure that we're setting aside land capacity for affordable housing along those new transportation lines. And so those are just a couple of ways. I would say, just personally, I serve on boards that focus on affordable housing. I serve on RWCI, Renaissance West Community Initiative. It's a purpose-built community model. That's a national model. It's along the West Side corridor, But there are other neighborhoods, including within District 1, that have a similar profile where the purpose built model can absolutely work. The other thing I'd say is that we have to leverage what's already working in the city. And so you have people like Sharice Blackman over at Westside Community Land Trust. Her board just voted to open up all of the best practices and membership to the entire city of Charlotte and not just the West Side corridor. We have to partner with people like Sharice Blackman and understand what best practices she's doing and what other community land trusts are doing around the country, and bring them here in Charlotte in neighborhoods that fit that profile where they can definitely embrace it. And the last thing I would say is that no one person is going to solve this issue. Dante Anderson's not going to solve it if I am the district rep, and Vi Lyles isn't going to solve it as the mayor. We need everyone at the table. We need government. We need the private sector. We need faith-based leaders. And most importantly, we need community residents to all come together and collectively put our minds together and think about how we can strategically solve the issue of affordable housing in our community.